Rightio, we're back again. I've figured it out. Yeah. It's all software. Hey, lip reading, yes. Apparently so. Anyway, I am back again. Hopefully, you can see me and hear me and all that good stuff. Someone give me a thumbs up or something to say that it's all working. Looks like YouTube's having fun trying to catch up. Let me have a look. It's working. Excellent. Just refreshing my screen to make sure everything's good. Rightio. Yep. Now, I don't know about the quality, but I think that it seems to be okay now. Oh, there we go. It's all good. Oh, thank goodness. All right, let's start the show again. Sorry about that technical difficulty. My software wasn't playing the game, and I'm sure I tested it before we started. So, let's put the mic down a bit. Sorry about that. All right. So, yes, today is my birthday. I won't tell you how old I am, but I'm an old bloke. So, you know, yeah, good. Thank you and welcome to Ask the Cheeseman episode 61. This is where you can learn about cheese making at home. Seems to be you have two voices that end. All right, hang on. I know why. All right, try that and that. Does that fix your two voices, Kim? Oh, you had me open twice. Right. Thanks, Kim. You're so funny. As if things weren't going bad enough already this morning. Anyway, yes, old bloke like a good old cheese. Okay. First of all, and I was trying to do this before, a shout out to some patrons this week. Big shout out to Sudes Pie, Jared, Tom, Jim, and Bill. All of those gentlemen, I think, contributed to the show. And you can too for as little as $1 a month. That's $1 US, that is. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Um, Lots of birthday wishes. Let's shout out. I'll go back to the start. G'day to Matthew, Joy, Rob, Terry, Brizzy Girl, Scott, Joy. I think I've said Joy already. Jonathan. Who else we got? Andrew. Yes, turn on and off again. Thanks, mate. Yeah, that did it. Country Boy Scotty. Kylarine. I think that's how it's spelled. Old Was Notch or Odie. Jay Walker. NKY Homesteading. All right, fantastic. So let's have a look and see if we got any questions. Let's get into it. Brendan says he can't participate today. Found somebody who will supply me raw milk. I've got to sterilise the bucket and get it ready to go and collect the milk. I will even get to milk the cow. See you next time. See you later, Brendan. Appreciate you dropping by. All right, so that wasn't the first question. The second question is from Muhammad, and he says, Gavin, can I use a mini bar as a cave? Yes, you can. In fact, that's what I do. I have a bar fridge I've got it in the laundry, and I've got an external thermostat connected to that, and that controls the temperature down to about 13 degrees Celsius, and that seems to work all right for me. Stranger Land and Livestock. G'day, how are you? Jan, congrats. I made the petite blue, but there's also white mold growing. Is that a bad thing? I use your recipe with a little extra cream and non-pasteurized milk. No, it's not really. You'll just get a cross between a petite blue and a camembert. It's very hard. Those two molds like the same conditions on the surface of the cheese, so don't go. Um, don't try and wash it off with a brine. If you've already got a blue bloom around your cheese, and leave it as it is, it'll be fine. And it'll either be Penicillium candidum or Geotrichum candidum as the white mold. You just get a different texture within the cheese. It'll still be soft and creamy and It'll be fine. It'll be lovely. Rob says, "Hi Gavin, greetings from Canada. I followed your raclette recipe, and my 6-week-old cheese is quite soft, much more like Port Salut. They both have very similar recipes. How can I make it firmer?" My recommendation is if you've got it in a ripening box and take it out, Rob. I found that the raclette needed a little bit more air than what the Port Salut did for the firmer rind. And yeah, they are very similar recipes, but I found that the raclette um, didn't was a lot firmer when I made it anyway. Um, it could be due to how much pressing you gave the cheese as well and how long you brined it for. Um, there are a few things I can think of. All right, John says, "Hello, Gavin. Hope you're doing better. I have a Romano that's in the beginning of month 4, and when I went to turn it this week, I noticed whey in the vac pack. I took it out and dried it. What else can I do?" That is about all you can do. It's just um, the vacuum itself is actually trying to draw moisture out of the cheese, so that's basically what's happening. Um, but yeah, just take it out, pat it down with a paper towel, and then revac pack it. Should be fine. All right, Country Boy says, "Have you ever done a wine soaked cheese or whiskey?" Yes, I have, but I haven't got a video about it. So I did a drunken cow cheese, and there's actually a recipe in Keep Calm and Make Cheese, my cheese ebook, on how to do that, and it turned out very nice indeed. I used a sweet red wine, so it was a bit like Lambrusco, um, or any other sweet red wine you get. And I soaked it after the brining. I soaked it in the wine for I think it was about 24 hours just to give it that colour, and let some of the wine soak in. And the end product was actually very delicious. So that was good. Um, Adam says, "Is there a difference in between the finished product when using animal versus vegetable rennet?" Even though I read that round the wrong way. Is there a difference in the finished product? Um, Look, Puritans would say there is. Sometimes vegetable rennet, if you add too much, you can cause some bitterness. If you add too much animal rennet, you don't get a bitterness. So for beginners, um, it's better to add a little bit less. That's why most of the timings you'll see with the videos that I make that I have a standard time of about 45 minutes is usually when I go and check the curds, and then I'll wait longer. Uh, so I'll add the minimum amount of rennet I possibly can. Usually it's about half a teaspoon for 10 litres or 2.5 gallons of single strength rennet. And then I'll go and check it, and then I'll wait another 10 minutes. And if I have to, I'll wait another 15 minutes until I get a solid curd. It's best to do it that way than to add too much rennet and have a bitter cheese as the final product. So they're the differences. Obviously, one comes from an animal, the fourth stomach of a ruminant. The vegetable rennet does not. It's usually produced in a lab from um, a mushroom, a mycelium. Okay. Scotty says, "Gavin, I followed your mozzarella recipe. I left it in some whey in a container, stored it, and it had discolored. Does it need to?" Hang on, let me start again. Hang on, I got a dog that's knocking on the door. Yes, Teddy. Come on, in. Right. Obviously, this is a special birthday live stream, and we've got all sorts of things happening here this morning. Right. So back to Scotty's question. Gavin, I followed your mozzarella recipe, and I left it in some whey in a container I stored it in, and it had discolor. Does it need to sit in whey while stored? I tend to not. It will actually go a darker yellow Depends on the type of mozzarella you use. So I've got two recipes on the site. One is quick mozzarella, which you've got to use as quick as you can because it tends to flatten in the container, doesn't hold its shape. And the other type, which is a traditional mozzarella, but it's using cow's milk, the recipe, and that uses a starter culture to increase the acidity or lower the pH. Um, so basically, it depends on which one you used. If you use the culture set mozzarella, then it'll keep its shape. You don't have to keep it in brine. I just keep it wrapped in say cling film or cling wrap. Or what do they call it? Saran? No, it's not saran wrap. I don't know. And that stops it from drying out. But you'll use it really quick. So that's why you don't really keep it. Okay, Rob says recently made brie, 3.5 weeks old. Geotrichum took over. No signs of Penicillium candida and white bloom. Used Flora danica. Cams worked out with the same recipe, but used meso too. Brie smells cabbagey. Cabbagey. Can it be saved? Probably hasn't got internal development yet. So, look, if you're going to save it, the only thing you will be able to do is actually eat it. So eat it now. Um, Sorry, Rob, if it smells cabbagey. Usually it has a little bit of an ammonia scent. I know when I open up the ripening box for those white blooming cheeses that you do get an ammonia um, smell to it or odor. Don't know about cabbagey though. I've never smelled it like that. A fully ripened brie can have an earthy smell, which is great, especially if you use geotrichum because that tends to have different sort of gases released when it's doing its magic. Okay, Bart says, "Hi, Gavin from Canada." No, I'm Gavin from Australia. Any recommendations on some good skim milk cheeses that can be made? Um, right. So if it's got no fat in the milk at all, you can't make cheese with it. So if it's like 0.1%, if you've got about, if it's semi-skimmed, then and it's down to about between 1.5 and 2% milk fat or percent fat per 100 milliliters. One great cheese that you can make is a Parmesan style or Grana Padano style cheese. Um, as many people tell me, I can't make Parmesan because I'm not in the Parmesan in the region in Italy where it's made and all that rubbish. I can make Parmesan cheese, but it's just not real Parmesan. Um, so that's one cheese I can think of that you use skim milk. Um, Cheeses tend to lose their flavour and their texture profile if they don't have enough fat solids in them. So not a lot of cheeses you can make. Um, you can try a fat reduced cheddar, but I don't think it'll be very cheddary. But yeah, look, experiment. That's the only way you can do it. Most of the recipes I get call for whole milk, which is at least 3.4% fat. But like I said, Parmesan's one of the exceptions. Michael, hey, I'm here. Hi, Michael. Terry, Terry just wanted to say that I just wanted to say I love your channel. Thanks for doing these videos. I'm looking into doing this because I didn't realize how simple it is. Yeah, it's good statement. Thanks, Terry. Um, yeah, cheese making is not hard. You know, if you can cook and do basic cooking and some, thanks, Carol. Appreciate that, mate. Um, if you can do some basic cooking and you've got some utensils in your kitchen and you can follow a recipe, then you just got to be aware of some of the variables and all that sort of stuff. And a little bit of the technicalities to go into it. But, you know, if you can make beer, you can make cheese. Or if you can cook an omelette, then you can make cheese. I don't know why people are so shy to start. I don't think many are, but people, when I tell people at parties that I make cheese, it's like I've got a superpower. You know, my superpower is making cheese. What's yours? So, but yeah, well done, Terry. Get into it, mate. Mick, or the MYK, Mick, that'd be Mick. Hi, Gavin, it's your pal Mick. Could you please do a tutorial on pool cheese? Um, Not sure what pool cheese is. Let's have a look. Just doing a Google search. Pool cheese. There it is, Wikipedia. It's a Balkan cheese made from donkey's milk. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to. I don't have any donkeys. Um, no, not a cheese I'll be able to make, I don't think. Not in the traditional sense, anyway. Sorry about that. Lindsay says, what are the consequences of not using calcium chloride in pasteurized milk? A good question. So the consequences of not using calcium chloride in your pasteurized milk is that you'll get a weak curd set. What calcium chloride does is adds some soluble calcium back into the milk, which allows the casein to react properly with the rennet. So if you don't use calcium chloride using any heat treated milk, so that's pasteurized milk, and even more so if it's been homogenized because the structure of the milk has been broken down further, you'll find you'll get a very weak curd set, and you'll get a sloppy cheese, and you may not even be able to cut the curds. Once again, Carol, thank you very much. If you want to do a super chat like Carol, there's a little icon down there on the chat box. It's a little dollar sign. You can throw me some birthday money. That'd be lovely. Good on you guys. Um, Bart says, thanks. There goes the diet. I hope I'm feeling better. Yeah, I actually am. For those who want to know, I visited my neurologist on Friday, and he said that I've got about 3 months worth of treatment left. He reckons, depending on how it goes, of course. I'm still getting little headaches now and then, like last Wednesday morning. When I woke up, I had a pounding headache and I had to stay in bed. But yeah, look, I think I'm definitely getting better. The headaches are getting far and few in between, which are really good. I don't have one every single day. If I do, it's very, very minor and I can just work through it. It's no problems. Anyway, Kim, thanks for the birthday cake there, love. Um, Jesper says, I'm sick and I need to be up in 6 hours, but this is my first time catching an Ask the Cheese Man. I wanted to say thanks for making such informative video about a subject I love. You're very welcome, Jesper. Dustin, g'day, mate. How are you? Tripack, hello. Carol says, hi, Gavin. Just wanted to know that I made a fontina from your recipe that matured last week. And she goes on to say, I've made 20 dozen homemade ravioli with the fontina and fresh ricotta and served them up with fresh basil marinara, and it was awesome. Fantastic. I froze and vacuum sealed about 16 dozen in portion packs. Yum. Thanks very much for the recipe and the instructions. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Well done, Carol. And that gives me an idea for one of my recipes, actually. So I know how to make pasta as well. So some ravioli stuffed with one of my cheeses would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate that, mate, for that super chat there. So well done, Carol. Fresh pasta, fantastic. I love a good cheese-filled fresh pasta. Okay. Trevor says, will using too much calcium chloride, say double the amount, affect the cheese? Another good question about calcium chloride. Yes. Yes, it actually is quite bitter, calcium chloride is. And if you add too much, you may have a final product that, when mature, is quite bitter and maybe too acidic as well. Um, Even though it's a mineral salt, it actually does taste a little bit bitter. So if you add too much, then yeah, be prepared for a bitter cheese. Christina says, can I make cheese without all the annatto and other chemicals? Hmm. Uh, there are no chemical. Well, everything's a chemical, of course. If we did chemistry class, everything's made up of atoms and molecules. You can make cheese without an arto. It'll just be a white cheese instead of a yellow one. And most of the cheeses that I make, I don't add an arto at all. And as for the other chemicals, the only chemical that we add these days really is calcium chloride, which is basically a mineral salt, very similar to normal table salt, which is sodium chloride. Um, you need to add rennet for most cheeses, and yeah, that's all I can think. Um, Whip says, "Do you have my own cows?" No, I don't. I don't have any cows at all. I actually get my milk from a lovely little dairy producer called Inglenook Dairy, and they're halfway between my house and Ballarat, which is a major regional city here in Victoria, Australia. Oscar says, "Hi Gavin, thanks for all the cheese making vids. You give me a new hobby." Um, and you guys, by being here, have um, oh, sorry. Tom distracted me. Well done, Tom. Happy birthday. Can I use calcium chloride in my yogurt? Yes, you can. If you don't get a good curd set, you can do that as well. Oscar says, you give me a new hobby. Yes. Well, with by you guys coming back each week, you give me a new hobby, live streaming. I never thought I'd do this, that's for sure. You know, how many old blokes like me actually live stream? I don't know. Quite a few. Um, Kylie, Kyla Rain. Yeah, Kyla Rain, thank you very much for your donation, and thank you, Tom, as well. Um, John says, I've loved watching your videos and recently bought your book, Key Car Make Cheese. I'm looking forward to making some soon. Thanks very much, John. I'm looking forward to finishing my second edition, not second edition, my second volume of cheese recipes. I've done the brief outline up to chapter 3 or something by now, but it takes so long. To write. But anyway, I'll get stuck into that and get into it. Christina says, "What's the easiest cheese to make?" Well, ricotta would be the easiest, followed by maybe paneer. And the easiest proper cheese to make with, um, what's it called? With rennet would be halloumi. So there's three cheeses you can have a go at. Okay. Tripack says you should really try the Uh, tartar fillet recipe. It's an anthem for cheese curds. Tartar fillet. I'll have a look at that. Tartar fillet. All right, I'll check that out. Kim says I'm not too old. Thank you, darling. Christina, Friday is your birthday. Are you a Gemini? Yes, I am a Gemini. Thank you very much. And Dustin, thank you very much. He says, missed the beginning of the show, but I'm guessing it's your birthday. So happy birthday, mate. Cheers, Dustin. I'm glad you did miss the start of the show, mate. It was chaos. Didn't have sound. The dogs were barking. Oh, it was just like cats and dogs living together. So, so anyway, Mick says, Mike, um, I've got into cheese making from watching your tutorials, and thanks for that, by the way. My question is, what cheese press would you recommend when starting out, and how much should I spend? Well, how long is a piece of string? Um, Really, you can use anything for a press to start with, but there's a lot of people that have issues. I wouldn't spend more than, say, around about $100 for a press, or if you can make it yourself, even better still, you'll save yourself some dollars. Um, so that could be a good suggestion. I did a video, and if Kim can find it, the one on all the do-it-yourself cheese presses. If you can pop the link up there, honey, then Mike will have a good guide on what sort of cheese presses you can make yourself at home. And you certainly would be able to make one for under $100 very easily. Okay, Strangerland and Livestock, said Gavin. I make cheddar from raw cow's milk. I keep getting a layer of cream that does not set. Do I need to? Do I need more rennet? I would think you would probably have to stir it more. So, um, let me think. So when you're, yeah, it depends on how much milk fat is in the cream, and if you milk your own, got your own cows, It's difficult to stir. So when you're stirring the rennet in, you've got to go from top to bottom. If you go round and round in circles, all the cream just floats straight to the top instantly. So what you need to do is stir from top to bottom in a motion like that for a minute after you put the rennet in, and hopefully that'll help. If not, I wouldn't add more rennet because it'll make the cheese more bitter. So that may be an issue. Tripack says, look up the recipe in Food Wishes. He does a very good one. I will, indeed. And Chef John is very good. I do like watching the Food Wishes channel. Deep South Texas. Hi, y'all. Sorry you're late. You're not late at all. You're fine. I was late. Stuart says, hi, Gavin. My cheese press is still stuck in German customs. Oh, that's no good, mate. It's for my birthday, which is also today. Well, happy birthday to you, Stuart. It may be. Oh no, you won't be able to. So sometimes, especially for European deliveries, I know we shipped it over there. They tend to hang on to it and try and contact you somehow because usually there's some VAT or customs duty that's payable on stuff we ship to Europe. So that may be the case, Stuart. But yeah, just hang on, mate. As long as it's in your country, that's fine. Rob says he got my hands on some water buffalo milk. Oh my, that's fantastic. Um, would it, would you have to change anything in quick mozzarella to use this? All right, one recommendation: don't make quick mozzarella with authentic water buffalo milk. Make the traditional one. Much better, much better. The quick one is just a, dare I say, a bastardized version of mozzarella. Make the traditional buffalo mozzarella. You will not kick yourself. You will love it. It is actually extra creamy. The fat content is really high, and it's just the best. And Kim, thank you very much for that link. Yeah, that's for the DIY cheese presses. Um, Dustin's just given a suggestion to Mike. Lindsay, I recently purchased a tiny little waxed cheddar. This cheddar only weighed 250 grams and is about 90 millimeters in diameter. I can't find a suitable mold slash hoop to make these little cheddars. Any thoughts? 90 millimeters in diameter. Right. Yes. One you could use is we sell and many other places sell a camembert hoop. That's 10 centimeters. That's 10 centimeters across, which is 100 millimeters. And by the time the cheese is shrunk during aging, it probably will be the same. And the camembert hoops that I use have a bottom, so they're more of a basket, not a hoop. So you would be able to press, and they're very quite solid. So you could press those. So there's a thought for you. Use camembert baskets with a bottom. You'll have to make your own follower, and that's one way to do it. Now, obviously, when you age a very small cheddar, you wouldn't age it as long as, say, a 1.5 kilo one, the size that I make. You'd only I'd mature it for about 3 months tops. You still get a cheddary flavour. Okay. Yasser says, hi, Mr. Gavin. I sent you a message looking forward to you responding. I don't get around to responding to all of my emails, unfortunately, Yasser, but I'll have a look for yours and see what I can do there. Brenda says, North Dakota, USA. Can I just camp at your house and do some yard work for cheese? Uh, we actually no. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of yard work to do. It's quite maintenance free. We don't have any lawns. We got rid of those when the first drought hit here in Australia when we first moved in the early 2000s. Um, and we just landscaped the whole lot, and it's all drought tolerant plants and fruit trees, and there's not much to do really except say hello to the chickens. So, but anyway, Brenda, you'd be most welcome to say good day. I'm sure if you came to Australia, we'd meet up in some cheese venue. That would be cool. Okay, the awkward penguin says, "Hey Gavin, thanks for your amazing content. Thank you. I have fallen in love with your videos and refresh it all the time to see if you've posted anything new. Keep up the good work. Regards from Norway. Um, that's fantastic, and I do appreciate that. Now, so usually we've got a Wednesday live chat like this one, um, and sometimes due to headaches, I haven't been doing them. I try to reach out to people via the community tab, which on mobile phones comes up in their feed, but desktops it doesn't, unfortunately. Um, and I've been trying to post 2 episodes or 2 tutorials a week. Um, so yeah, so that's what I'm trying to produce. Some weeks it's only 1 tutorial a week, but I'm sure people don't mind that. Tripack says, you moved down under in 2000. No, no, no. I moved to this town where I'm living in 2000. I have a strong Aussie accent because I'm an Aussie. I was born and bred in a little country town called Loxton, South Australia. So quite far from here. It's about, 800 kilometres away from where I live now. Anyway, Brenda says, I do go to Australia, but usually into Perth. Well, that's a long way away from here. It's about 4,000 kilometres. Because I like to trip up around the North Kimberley Trails. It is a beautiful part of the country. Rick says, good evening, Gavin and gang. Thanks so much for the great knowledge. I'm sure I make sure to tell everybody in the goat milk groups to follow you for the best cheese making instructions. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it, mate. And Kim's putting cheese and birthday cakes up, which is an indication that, yes, it's my birthday. Again. Kim says, with a British accent twang. What, my accent? Yeah, only because I'm living with a POM. And Australians call people from England POMs. Kim is English, if you didn't know. Whip 8 says, have you ever made cottage cheese again? No, I haven't attempted cottage cheese since the last failure. I'm sure I'll get around to it. I'll pop it on the list. Okie dokie. Now, speaking of recipes, this week, hopefully Friday morning, which is my normal release time, Friday morning my time, I've got a lovely recipe that I made over the weekend, and it's raclette and tater tot casserole. And all those who are not in the US, tater tots are potato gems or potato jewels or potato minis or whatever you want to call them. They're little potato. They look like little mini hash browns, but they're round, like a tube. Um, and yeah, made a lovely casserole over the weekend. So I recorded that, put the video up, and that will be published on Friday morning. I'm also going to try and do a yogurt cheese because I haven't made one for a long, long time, and it's very lovely as a dip, um, and putting extra flavors into it. But very simple cheese, and I'm hoping to get that up by Monday morning my time as well. So yogurt cheese, that'll be lovely. Okay. Um, where are we up to? Kim. Hi, Rick. Yes. Um, yes, Cottage, he is the best cheese maker. Oh, thanks, Brenda. Brizzy Girl, not sure if it's my phone, but your audio and video are slightly out of sync. Is anybody else having this issue? Um, Funny you should say that, Brizzy Girl. Sometimes when I watch videos on the iPhone, it tends to be out of sync. On mobile, using the mobile app, all I have to do is then restart the video and it works. And now with live chat, might not be possible. But anyway, tell a cheesy birthday joke. Okay, Kim. All right, first joke of the day. Oh, I think I've done that joke, and I'm trying to find one. All right, here's the joke of the week. This is corny as anything. What cheese belongs on the handlebars of a tiny bike? So the joke is, what cheese belongs on the handlebars of a tiny bike? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? It's Baby Bell. There it is, Baby Bell. This is a cool little book called Say Cheese. Kim got it for me for Christmas. And it's got corny jokes in there. Anyway, so that's my corny joke for the week. Rick has a question. No, sorry, Dustin. Sorry, mate. Actually planted herbs this year, so I'm hoping that I can incorporate fresh herbs into my cheeses. Got dill, basil, thyme, rosemary, and oregano. What would you suggest? I would only use fresh herbs, Dustin, for fresh cheeses. Best way to go. Now, if you're going to put in herbs into cheeses that you're going to mature, uh, then make sure they're dried. I dry them just in the oven or use a what are they called? A food evaporator, food preserver, something like that. Dry out your herbs that way, and then you can put them in the cheese. Don't put fresh herbs into cheeses that you're going to mature for more than a month. They will rot in the cheese, and you get a horrible flavour. Okay, Rick says he has a question. Can I mix a gallon of raw milk with a gallon of store bought milk for cheddar without adding calcium chloride? You could try it. As long as the store bought milk is unhomogenized, you would probably get away with it. You can only try. Audio is fairly low. Let's go up a bit. There we go. That's as loud as I want to really get it. There we go. How's that? That's a bit better. Okay. Deep South Texas says my first cheese is Gruyere. Well done, and it'll be lovely. Make sure you keep an eye on that rind because it'll get away from you otherwise. Once a week, sometimes twice a week, is better than not checking it. I kind of left mine for a month once, and the rind went a little bit water dripped from the ripening box onto the cheese itself and made it a little bit soft. So anyway, I saved it, but it tasted fantastic. Okay, Brenda says, I'm behind on my videos. How did the blue turn out? It's still going. I did a update for the blue, Brenda. You might catch that. That will be great. And you'll see how it's progressing. I'm going to do another video on the blue in a week's time. So I'll check it out. I don't think it's going to get to a full 3 month maturation because it depends on how the blue goes. I may have to scrape a bit of the blue off the surface of the cheese. I don't want it getting soft in the middle. I want it to be the same cheddar texture as stir-curd cheddar normally has. Yeah, Carol, just it might be hard to see. You just have to refresh. If you get a wheel spinning on a live feed, then just refresh the page and it fixes it. Okay, what's the easiest way to remember your wife's birthday? Forget it once. That's true. That's a good one. Rightio. All right, we've got another question. Where are we? Dharma says, hey, do you think placing a bag of cheese wheel in warm water will create a vacuum environment is effective? Hang on, let me figure this out. Do you think placing a bag of cheese wheel in warm water which creates a vacuum environment is effective? No, I've lost you there. Sorry, Dharma. I'm a very visual person. I can't figure that out. Lindsay, when looking at a lot of your cheese making videos, I notice they often have an open book there. What is your favourite cheese making book? Well, I actually have lots. There's all different ones. I'll modify the recipe and basically then I write them down. I'll change the size or write them down on my handy little notebook here. But one of the best, hang on, I'll just grab it. One of the best. There are many. There are many good cheese books. This is just one, which is a bit of a go-to for me at the moment. 200 Easy Homemade Cheese Recipes by Deborah Amron's Boys. So that has a lot of great recipes in it. They do call for 3 gallon lots of milk, actually more, 4 gallons of milk per cheese. So, yeah, it's a bit of a worry. That's why I have to scale them down and sometimes change the recipes. So, that's a very good book. Um, okay, so where am I up to? Oh, right. Deep South Texas says, my first cheese is Gruyere is 6 months old. I'm waiting for a chance to video it before I open it up. That'd be fantastic. You don't see many cheesemakers videoing their stuff, so it'd be great. Even if it was on a Facebook video, that'd be cool. Or better yet, how come? Oh, hang on. Rick says, or better yet, how come no one does 1 gallon recipes? Lol. So that's 4 litres or 3.7 litres. The smaller recipes don't, they tend to dry out too fast. They mature too fast. They don't get a proper flavor profile. So that's why smaller cheese recipes don't particularly, you don't see them too much in cheese making books. You'll find larger ones. There is one book by Mary Carlin, which is Artisan Cheese Making at Home, which do 4 litre recipes. Every time I make one, doesn't seem to work the best.
Happy birthday.
Oh, what's that? Oh, thanks. Kim just handed me a birthday present, a DNA testing kit to figure out where my roots have come from. Anyway, that's not cheese making. Anyway, ancestry.com. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Anyway, I'll share the results where I come from later on. It'll be quite interesting to know, I think. Um, Rightio. Adam says, I'm going to attempt to build a Dutch press this weekend. Wish me luck. Well, good luck, and I hope it all turns out, Adam. They're very simple devices, but to measure how much weight you need to put on the arm is a bit of a science behind that. Okay. Uh, Deep South Texas water dripped on mine too. Yes, it tends to, unfortunately. All right, where I'm up to. Um, uh, what cheese? Whip 8 says, what cheese has surprised you the most in the last year? Either one you've made or tasted somewhere else. Hmm. Okay, yeah, good one. The ricotta salata that I made with sheep's milk, sheep's whey, surprised the heck out of me. The flavour of that little cheese was absolutely amazing. So it had, oh, it tasted like a really weak parmesan, but for a ricotta, it bursted with flavour, and it could have been the mold growth that I had. Um, on the outside that I had to scrape off at about the 4 month mark. But I tell you what, that was one strong, potent little cheese. Lovely grated over pasta, all that sort of stuff. So if you ever do get your hands on some sheep's milk and make a sheep's milk, say a pecorino romano or something, keep the whey, make a ricotta and press it, make it into a ricotta salata, heavily salt the outside of it, and ripen it for about 6 months. I tell you what, you'll be so impressed. That's one that surprised the heck out of me. Dustin, sorry, I meant fresh herbs and as in from the garden, not necessarily right out. I'm just wondering which ones you would suggest for cheese. Um, some herbs that I've used in cheese are sage. I've also used in fresh cheese garlic, garlic chives and normal chives. That's nice through a fresh cream cheese. Very, very, very nice. Some other herbs that I've used are thyme in a cheese. Tends to be very strong in flavour, but very, very nice. So there's a few oregano I've used in a cheese as well, just as a layer in the middle, and you can really when you bite through that layer, you get um, a great little flavour burst as well. Carol says, thanks, Kim, for the trolls. Yes, well done. Um, Brenda says, don't do it. What, the ancestry thing? um, they put your DNA profile in the world registry. Oh, look, they've got me details everywhere on the internet, Brenda. Don't not so fussed. One day they'll make a clone out of me, probably. They'll clone the Cheeseman. Bob said, "Are there any unusual pastry cheeses? Those sweetened and used as a filling?" Yeah, usually they use sweetened cream cheese. So, and usually it's Philadelphia cream cheese. But if you make your own and don't hang it for as long as I normally do, you'll get a less sharper cream cheese. That's good for pastry fillings. Another one, ricotta. If you can make a very fine ricotta, that's good for pastry fillings as well. And for filling things such as cannelloni and pasta and that sort of stuff as well. Um, Usually, most of those pastry fillings are a mixture of thickened cream and ricotta, or thickened cream and cream cheese. Um, and as Carol rightly says, ricotta salata rocks. It's such a simple cheese. Anyway, all very good. Now, I've been going for 46 minutes. I'm not sure what YouTube's done to all those videos beforehand. I'll have to check through my oh, what's it called? The video manager that I have here, and delete the first effort and check out what the second one sounds like. And oh, a bit of chaos this morning. But anyway, um, Brenda says then they try to get you to give up a kidney. Um, I bet your wifey likes you with both kidneys. Yeah, look, they're not going to get my kidney because ancestry is in the UK and I'm in Australia. So, oh, no, not UK, US, I think. I don't know where they do the test. I'll find out when I open the box. All very good. Um, Dustin says, I have told you before that I made Parmesan. Strange thing is my 2.5-year-old loves it. I keep hiding it in the fridge and trying to tell him I'm out, but he keeps finding it. um, yeah, it is. It's an amazing cheese. Once you've ripened it past that 10-month mark, and you can ripen it for longer, of course, the flavour is just you know, better. Well, all right, I can't say it's better than real Parmesan, but it is an amazing flavour and only one that you'll know if you make it yourself. So, yeah, well done, Dustin. Yeah, my kids can't keep their hands off my cheese either. Even though one of them's lactose intolerant, she still loves taking home a bit of cheese. Um, Timothy says, can you suggest any cheese making suppliers in the US? Yeah, I can recommend a few. So, one is the New England Cheesemaking Company. That's a very, I actually receive a newsletter for those guys every Monday, I think, something like that. And they tell me what specials they got, but I can't import them because they don't ship overseas. Whereas Little Green Workshops, our little company, does ship overseas. And we ship all the good cheese gear over there. But there's one. Go and have a look at that one. Brenda says, what cheeses handle the addition of strong garlic the best? Um, I have made cheese with dried garlic and reconstituted it and put it in, what was it? Oh, it's in cream cheese. That was probably the best. Otherwise, garlic has a tendency, because it's got a lot of sulfur in it, it tends to stop the enzyme action with cheese as it's aging. So soft cheeses are better if you're going to add garlic. Um, oh, thinking back to that herb question, I think it was from Dustin. Um, yeah, Kim's giving me the wind up. Is it that time already? Goodness me, it is too. I might have a look at my Cotswold recipe. Whoever was asking for the herbs, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. There's some good things there. Um, Peter Griffin says, "Why are there so many dislikes?" Oh, because you were just here begging for money. No, I wasn't begging for any money. Okay. Kim's giving me the wind up. Yep, you can find the merch over at Cafe Press. Just go to cheapman.tv. Also, you can visit our shop, littlegreenworkshops.com.au, and you can get all your cheese making supplies, equipment, and kits if you want one. Kim Billy says, which cheese can I make with raw goat's milk? My dough is giving me half a gallon a day. Look, most cheeses you can make, most of the recipes I make, you can use goat's milk. When you're going to make pepper jack, I'm getting there. My red plastic strainer, you can use any plastic container. Just remember to flip your cheese in the brine halfway through. Later. See you later, Dustin. All right, so we'll wrap up. Kim's deleting things all the time, which is, she loves deleting things. Anyway, thanks. Yeah, all right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. Sorry about the technical difficulties, and I'll enjoy the rest of my birthday today. I think Ben and I are going to high voltage go-karts. We're going to have a race on some electric carts, and that'll be good fun. And I think I'm having a special birthday dinner. Anyway, see you later, Curd Nerds. I'll see you next week.
Well, g'day, Curd Nerds. G'day, Curd Nerds.
Well, g'day, Curd Nerds.
Well, g'day, Curd Nerds.
Well, g'day, Curd Nerds. Well, g'day, Curd Nerds.